All right. Well, we do have a few others registered, but we're going to go ahead and get started. We have the three of you on the line with Inka and I. So welcome to session 7 already. We've been plugging along on our SEBI self-management business plan guide. This is Meredith, and Inka is also on the line, and I know you ladies have been consistent callers, so we won't spend a lot of time introducing ourselves. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, everyone.
So just a quick reminder that the focus of our call is the DSME business plan, which really we think of as the umbrella, if you will, that sits over your AADE or ADA program, DSME program, and then kind of diving further into that is the clinical quality improvement portion of your accredited or recognized program. So it somewhat encompasses all three components of those things, and our hope is just to break this down into bite-sized pieces. So if you have the opportunity to either create or update your business plan, that this allows you to do that in incremental pieces. So our usual housekeeping items, if you wouldn't mind placing yourself on mute by pressing *6 and also *6 to unmute yourself when you have something to add. Please don't place us on hold. We love music, but it is a bit distracting on the call. Just let us know who you are when you speak. Depth in sharing. So we like to hear from all of you that are on the call with us. We do have chat open, so as we go along, if you have questions or comments, feel free to chat them in. We'll address them as time allows, and if time runs out on us in our short 30 minutes, we will address them and follow up after the call. And we do record the meeting, so you all have access to that after the meeting, along with having the resources and web links available. So our usual little exercise here, if you could click on the pen in the upper left-hand corner, left click on the arrow, and drag yourself over to where you're located, and left click, pop your name on the map. I know we're all in Metro Denver, but since we have a small call, oh, I was wrong, Yvonne. Which is good.
Okay, this is Roseanne. I can never get this to work, so I left click on the pen, and then I click on where I'm at.
So left click on, yes, and once you left click on the pen, you should get a drop down menu that has an arrow that points to the right. Do you see that?
Let me try this again. Oh, okay. So I take that.
And then left click on that arrow.
Okay.
And then you can drag your arrow over to Denver.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Good. And then, Sarah, are you on phone only this morning?
I'm on phone only. I'm trying to get into the WebEx. Don't worry about me. I'll catch up.
Oh, no problem. So Sarah Grassmeyer is also on the line with us, and she works with Inka at CDPD. So we can just imagine another arrow showing up there in Denver. Inka?
So today we're going to go, I've been trying to incorporate the 2017 National Standards for DSMES. And so I felt one of the standards, number 10, kind of aligns with part of our conversation today. And then we'll have a facilitated conversation on the efficiencies and inefficiencies of an EHR system for DSMES. And so just reflecting on the call from last month, I know we started to talk about that. And so Meredith and I felt we really wanted to capture this information. So it might be a little bit of a repeat from the last call, but I think we can have more time to get into more depth conversation about maximizing your EHR system for those that have one. I do recognize that maybe there will be folks that don't have one, and so the possibility of maybe upgrading to one.
All right. So as usual, we like to hear from you. So our polling question today, and we'll have 30 seconds once that pops up. If you could just click on your response and then be sure to hit submit. If there were one thing I would like our DSME electronic health record to do better, it would be reporting functionality, interdepartmental or interagency communication, billing and accounts receivable, care planning and order sets, encounter documentation, other, or not applicable. We don't use an EHR at this time. So if you could be submitting your responses, time is actually almost up on that. Hopefully we caught it in time. It'll take just a few minutes for the results to pop up. All right, so we know Roseanne and Yvonne, the two of you are the ones that are this question applies to. So one wish is better interdepartmental or interagency communication, and the other is care planning and order. So hopefully through our conversation this morning, each of you will come away with an idea or two that you could each utilize in your own EHR. And as always, Inka and I will take notes and access them accordingly in the future.
So, as I mentioned, throughout the calls in the upcoming months, we're going to embed the new standards. Did anyone have an opportunity to watch the webinar yesterday hosted by CDC? Roseanne or Yvonne?
I thought that was canceled.
No, the 2017 National Standards one was held yesterday. I think there was an NDPP one that was canceled.
Oh, okay. I got confused and thought it was canceled.
Oh, okay.
Roseanne, I had a conflict, so I didn't get to watch it.
Unfortunately, the one downside about CDC is that it takes them months and months and months to release those webinars. So I had emailed someone yesterday asking when that would be released because I'd love to share that with you. It was very informative. But you also both have a lot of support from your respective organizations. I know that they're doing a lot of communication to making sure that all of their programs are meeting the 2017 standards by the May 1st deadline. But I also want to have this opportunity during our calls to kind of think through each standard, and as we're going through the business guide, how that applies, because it really informs the business guide, kind of really reflects a lot of the standards. So last month we focused on progress notes and standard 7, which was individualization. And then today I felt like thinking through standard 10, quality improvement. It's trying to maximize our EHR system. This could be one of your quality improvement projects, and that can meet the standard. And so this is the high-level definition of that standard. So as we move into our discussion, think through some of that work. One of the things in the standards is that something that you could do is think operational measures, like participant satisfaction or financial indicators or no-show rates or results of marketing efforts. And then another one was process measures, which is participants receiving services, referral to DSMES, or referrals to other services like an eye exam. And so that's an example of how you could use your EHR system as a quality improvement project. And some methods you can use are like a plan, do, study, act model, or Six Sigma, Lean, Re-AIM, or workflow mapping. And if this is of interest to you, I'm sure this is something that Meredith and I could do more of on other calls. So I think I just wanted to start off by really thinking through identifying inefficiencies and potential ways to dig into that and come up with best practice or procedures or workflows to kind of solve those inefficiencies. So my question to you all is, how do you find inefficiencies in your system or workflow?
This is Roseanne. So the challenge that we have is that our EMR is just for our department, and so in order for us to integrate it into the hospital electronic medical record, we have to actually print it and put stickers on, so barcode stickers, so that it can be scanned in. And I just wish that there was a way that we could just push a button and it would go automatically, but I don't think there's any way for that to happen, at least not right now. The other thing that I wish we had the ability to do is to just fax directly out of our, fax our notes from our EHR directly to the docs instead of having to print it out and fax it to them separately. So those are the two things that I wish we had that we don't right now.
And this is Yvonne. One of my big problems is that I can get the results of patients from our clinic, from our EMR, but if they're from an outside clinic, I can't get results there because I'm not in their record or in their EMR, so I don't have access to like a post-A1C. I don't always get those results, or I'll lose them to follow up, and when I'll call and ask for those results, and I don't always get them from other clinics. So that's a big problem I have. That's why I wish that we can integrate, between clinics.
Sorry, I messed that note up a little bit on the screen. So hope I'm not confusing anyone.
So what are some things you're doing? So for Roseanne, it just sounds like you have to print out the progress note and then scan and then send to the doc's EHR system.
Right.
That's kind of workflow for you right now.
Exactly. And I don't know, I think there might be a way that we could purchase an extension to be able to fax directly to the docs, and that's one of the problems is cost in doing that. And there's also a way to integrate it with Meditech so that the notes would go directly into Meditech, but there's a cost to that as well. So, we're paying a monthly fee in order to use this EMR that we're using, but we chose to do so because the reporting is so good for when it comes time to submit your documentation for ADA recognition. And so we're having...
What system do you have? What is it called?
It's called DiaWeb.
Oh, DiaWeb. Okay, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. So the
Roseanne,
mm-hmm.
do you believe if you had adequate documentation that represented, how much time it takes to manually do those things, how much of your time and the associated costs, that they may consider an extension?
I don't know. I mean, I think we did try that at one time and it just never really, we didn't get we had a problem where we weren't able to kind of finish the project we started, kind of keeping track of our time, and then it kind of, we had to change the management and things, kind of changed. So it might be worth doing that as a process improvement, just to see, how much time we're actually spending on our charting and scanning, et cetera.
So I'll plant the bug, the access that we have to Marianne Hedorowitz, our national consultant. That's no charge to anyone that's taking advantage of that. But those are the types of specific things she's willing to help with. So if you want to consider talking to her about how you might think about a cost proposal to put together, that could be a good possibility of something she'd work through with us.
then Yvonne was trying to get A1C after participant had education. It's just it's on your end to follow up with that provider, and sometimes you just can't get to those labs.
Right.
So just really trying to do that feedback loop to you.
Right, exactly. Trying to close those loops of the people that have completed the program. So, you know, it's like, hey, they need this, and this to complete the diabetes self-management education. Well, right now we don't have a dietitian or nutritionist, a registered dietitian. So I'm going to have to change those standards. So do you guys have any suggestions on what is the minimum to complete a diabetes self-management education program?
For that quality 10?
Yeah.
Standard? Well, that standard 10, it could be anything. It could also be something related to the individual. I just pulled out, it's very open, from my understanding. It doesn't have to relate directly to the EHR.
Okay.
What have you done in the past for that standard?
Well, we wanted our patients in the past, when we had a registered dietitian, we had a quality of that. They would, we would have like 70% complete the program. That would include, per policy, a one-on-one classes, a one-on-one with the registered dietitian, and then a follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, now I have to completely change it because we don't have a registered dietitian anymore. I'm not getting that follow-up. So it's like I'm going to have to change that standard, you know what I mean, in our policy. I'm going to have to change that policy to where it's to complete the diabetic self-management program, maybe it's just a class and follow-up, or a one-on-one and follow-up if they can attend the class.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So I'm going to have to change that quality project. So,
And Yvonne,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I was just going to ask, have you looked over the standards to know what the minimum requirements are for that, if you're considering changing your policy around that?
No, that's what I was wondering if you guys knew, because that's the problem.
Okay, that's something that we'll look into further to see what documentation we can find so that you can ensure your policy is meeting the standards in your accreditation or recognition.
That would be great.
So I guess moving on to effectiveness, efficiencies, and how did you get there? So what have you done to optimize or quality improvement cycles around your use of your EHR?
Well, this is Roseanne. Just getting the DiaWeb and getting started on that actually was an improvement because we were having to collect all of our data by hand, prior to that. And so now at least we've got the data collected, electronically so that we can run reports and get the things that we need. So that's what we've done so far.
Great. So you've learned that going from manual to a management system has really helped and has changed reporting.
It definitely has. It's made the whole process easier, so and especially if your staff is limited, you need to do whatever you can efficiently. So.
And on my end, I have talked with the one of the other major clinics here in town, and I don't know, we're talking about getting me access to their EMR. They were okay with that, but then another company came in and they have a new management company, so I think I have to go through the same song and dance again. But we were looking to if I can do an MOU and get access to their EMR.
Was that, Yvonne, was that a pretty easy verbal agreement to get from the other clinic, or did that feel like quite a process?
You know, it was pretty easy. It's just now, but like I said, a new management came in. I mean, I had just gotten it done, and we just signed the MOU, and now a different management company took over. So, and this is a large management company, I think I'm thinking from Denver. Salud, I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now they took over the clinic down here, one of the clinics, so I'm probably gonna have to redo that. But I had just gotten that, and I was just getting access to their EMRs to start, trying to close the loop and get some post-A1Cs and, post-cholesterols and kind of be able to look at the records a little bit more. It looks like I'm going to have to start from scratch.
And what was the clinic that they bought? What was it called?
Mount Carmel.
Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
And Salud's a relatively bigger health system, so just open up a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're open to the idea, because then I can get results back to the doctor faster. I can ask them for, if they need a change in their medication or insulin or, a suggestion or anything. I can actually be able to communicate with their providers easier if I have that access. So hopefully that'll work out. But it's a good idea you guys are bringing this up, because I should just make a quality project out of it since I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be a great one.
Absolutely.
And Yvonne, am I remembering right that you all were also going to start using DiaWeb?
No.
What EHR are you using?
We use Athena and HMS here at the hospital. Inpatient is HMS and the clinic is Athena. Mount Carmel, gosh, I don't even remember which one they were using, but I think they're changing it to a different one now anyway, now that Salud took over. So,
Okay.
and they just took over at the beginning of January. So, we have a meeting tomorrow to figure, out how that's going to work.
Are there any other thoughts, outside of your own, to kind of tie the inefficiencies and deficiencies together of things that Meredith and I could do outside of these calls to support your work? You can think of?
Probably if you guys have any suggestions on approaching Salud with this idea, any other suggestions you think that I should bring up to them, because I am the only diabetic educator here in Trinidad, so I have to cover not only our clinic but their clinic, and I think there's one other small private doctor.
And I don't think Salud has any other accredited or recognized programs. They don't have any. When I looked a while ago,
yeah,
taking that case of services that education that you're providing to your population in Trinidad, and again the efficiency of being able to access the information and having that feedback loop and continuous care. Quality care. And you're having that conversation with them tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm meeting with their one of their directors tomorrow. is actually attending my diabetes committee meeting tomorrow, and we wanted to, kind of see how, now that since they're under new management, how things were going to work between our collaboration. And so I'm glad you actually put that down in words for me. Helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, just kind of reflect on everything that we've been going through the last 7 months with the business plan guide and your conversation with Mary Ann in the fall, and you're building this program, and you have data, obviously, from collecting, patient, participant, quality outcomes, everything that we've been talking about.
And Yvonne, if you feel like you're running into barriers or challenges and they don't seem open to moving forward with allowing you access, just keep us posted in case there's anything that we might help do to assist with that. But I'm confident, Salud being the bigger system that they are, I'm confident that they'll see the value in that and hope that they'll be agreeable to moving forward, because that would definitely make your life easier and ultimately affect those that you're educating through more efficient care. So
okay,
but just keep us posted. All right.
I will.
So that quickly brings us to the top of the hour already. Thank you both for your input and feedback. In some ways, it's nice to have a small group where you have a little bit more time to really dive in specifically to information. So thanks for spending your time with us. As far as the next steps, if you aren't already getting reports from your billing department or accounts receivable about any DSME denied claims, we would suggest you do that. Roseanne and Yvonne, is that something that you get on a regular basis?
This is Roseanne. We do not get that, but we just recently met with our financial person, and we are going to start trying to get that information.
Great. Perfect. And Yvonne, how about you?
No, we don't presently get that. I have approached and actually had a meeting with our DON and our business department, and they are not willing to do that. They don't want to go through that trouble. They figured that they can just let me know who is denied, and that's not working. I'm not getting the people that are denied, and they want me to keep a spreadsheet, and they'll let me know who's denied. But that isn't happening either, so I don't know how to, what the next step should be. But right now, they are not providing that.
Well, that's a slippery slope, and we certainly don't want to create waves with your management team or any other departments, especially since you've already tried that. But again, I will put our thinking caps on, again, maybe through the expertise and access that we have to Mary Ann. Maybe there's something that she might suggest that would be a non-threatening way to go about that, because it really is speaking volumes to the sustainability of your program if you can ensure that those claims are getting paid and helping your systems bring in that revenue that's due to you. So,
right. And if there's any way you can get me something, that is what in writing, I can forward it to our compliance officer and to my DON, and maybe they would see that if it's actually something in writing, whereas they're hearing me say it and they're like, nah, that's not necessary.
Yeah, we'll just obviously need to be really mindful and tread lightly on how we would go about that. So, that being said, we'll continue to think about that. So our next calls are on February 21st. Same times, 8:30 and noon. You're welcome, as always, to join either time. and we will start digging into financial plan and projections. We always leave our data sources up for reference in case you ever have a chance to look at that. There's a lot of great information specific to Colorado through those data sources. And in closing, thanks again for taking your time with us this morning. If the survey pops up for you, if you wouldn't mind completing that for us, and you know how to get a hold of Inka and I, feel free to call or email at any time if you have any questions. And we also have our diabetes-specific websites listed here on the screen, where there are just lots and lots of other tools and information available. So with that, we'll close it out and hope to talk to you again next month. Have a great day.
Have a great